So hi, Sherina. I'd like to introduce you because Sherina Balaratnam is a surgeon and also the medical director of S-Thetics in Beaconsfield. And welcome, Sherina. It's lovely that you've flown into our nest. Welcome.
Thank you ever so much, Steve.
Great to see you today. And you're looking absolutely lovely in your white suit. Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. And it's wonderful to meet all of you and your audience.
It's a pleasure. And it's lovely to meet you too. And also, Sherina, I did actually meet you last week because I was very fortunate to have had the HydraFacial myself. And everyone's very jealous. So, and I wanted to ask you, tell us what is a HydraFacial?
Absolutely, Dee. So a HydraFacial is a custom blend treatment. It's something that we have in the clinic. In fact, I've wheeled mine over here just to try and make this as immersive as I possibly can. Because when you think about a standard facial, we tend to think of the cream on, cream off facial that we're all probably very, very used to and we've had for absolutely years. So try and take all of this now to a different level. Tech, as you know, has come into a very natural play in the world of beauty, in the world of aesthetics. And I'm used to dealing with a lot of tech. And what you're looking at with a HydraFacial is a technology-built facial treatment designed for every single patient of any age, of any skin type, of any skin quality. So what you're looking at is a 6-step facial. So you're getting 6 facials in one within a high-tech facial. So I call this a hybrid facial because it's a synergy of 2 worlds. It's a synergy of mechanical exfoliation, which some of us have heard about, like microdermabrasion. And so you've got the mechanical exfoliation of the skin, and then you've got the chemical exfoliation of the skin. So we've all heard and are probably familiar with chemical peels. So it's those 2 worlds just kind of married into one, delivered using technology to a patient. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I have to say that it was the most amazing experience for me, mentally, physically, in every way. And my skin, and I really have to say this because not just because I'm talking to you, Sherina, but it was magnificent, and I really would recommend it to anyone because I was starting to get, little sort of bumps under my skin through lockdowns, through being inside, and it's very, very smooth now, and I'd like to continue with the treatments.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. And that's a really good point about the bumps you mentioned, Dee, because we naturally have a self-exfoliation. Okay, so the body naturally self-exfoliates. That's just how we're made. And it's a great process to have. So we self-exfoliate in the skin on our face. We self-exfoliate in the skin of our scalp. So a classic example to explain this is if we didn't hoover up for a month, you get all those white bits on the floor, right? In the rooms that you don't go into. And so very similar to the skin on the face of the scalp. So we have a new HydraFacial for the scalp as well. So scalp is very in. But before I go into that, I also want to talk about, exfoliation of other areas, the back, etc.
How long does the actual treatment last?
So in terms of the treatment time, Debbie, the time can vary anywhere between 45 and 60 minutes. In my experience, having had the treatment myself, being a patient, so I am a patient in my own practice, Debbie. And what I found that the 1-hour treatment, 60 minutes, gives us as practitioners the right amount of time to deliver each and every one of those 6 steps, because you want to focus on the purpose behind each step. You don't want to just rush through it and just do the treatment. And that's where, Dee, you mentioned the word experience as well, because we've really taken each and every one of those steps and just broken them down. So the treatment time is 60 minutes, Debbie, and into the end of the spectrum, how long does the treatment last? And how long does the result last? Well, the more you put into it as a patient, so we always talk about preparation, drinking lots of water, or drinking even herbal teas. Now I've got all this around me. The more you put into the skin and digest it to flood the tissues internally with hydration, when we then do the treatment and you carry on the internal hydration, the more you actually get out of it. So I always say it's a twofold thing. When we prepare patients, we say, do your bit, we'll do ours, and then bang, you're off on a really, really good trajectory. And the results can last for not only days, it can last for weeks, and they continue to get better with repeated treatments.
So the treatment's not just for your face, is it? Where else do you do this treatment? I mean, and how do you do it? Is it a machine? How does it work? What is it?
Oh my gosh, so many questions. So these are all fantastic questions. So what you have, Debbie, is you have a machine, you have a device, you have a technology. And I want to go back to when I first had my first HydraFacial. So I was a plastic surgeon. I used to be a former surgeon in the NHS in plastic surgery and burns reconstruction. Hence the passion for skin, really, you know, because as a pediatric burn surgeon, you have to make sure your patient is going to heal well from a functional point of view so that they're going to age without any stigma, without any issues. But also then you have the aesthetic to think about as you consider. So that has always manifested in what I love doing. And I don't practice surgery anymore, but everything has evolved into what I do now with skin rejuvenation. So when I first had this before I got married in 2007, as Dee said, it was just the most exhilarating experience I had as a facial, because pre-wedding, your expectations are super high. You're not going to settle for anything less. And it delivered just that. And I remember thinking, I just want to have one, like literally have one in my practice. And now we have 3. But what you actually have is a technology that blends mechanical exfoliation. So you have a handheld tip, okay? And through that handheld tip, it's connected to all of these solutions that you can see here. All right. And so all these solutions, which have got glycolic acid in the step 2, you've got then salicylic acid, you've got all of these hydroxy acids. But before you even start, we've got something called lymphatic drainage. Has anyone ever heard of lymphatic drainage?
Is that like the sucker that sucks out all the blackheads and things?
Not yet. That's coming up. That's coming up in one of my next steps as well.
You could say, is that the sucker that sucks out all the fat? No, that's called liposuction. That's what we all want. That's a different treatment.
That's a different treatment. So when you break down the 6 steps, what are you really identifying with? You're identifying with the physiology. What is actually happening to us on a day-to-day basis? We're making new cells every day. We're also breaking down cells. And then we're drinking coffee, tea, we're sleeping late, we're working extremely hard. So back in the old days where we had sun, we had cigarette smoking, those sort of things that cause not just natural aging, but accelerated aging. Now we have things like stress, sugar, lifestyle, high performance, working career, looking after kids for the last 5.5 months at home, it puts a lot of stress on the skin. We're also getting a lot of PC posture. We're doing this a lot more than we ever have done. So what we're actually seeing now is increase in musculoskeletal tension, and we're actually getting a lot more puffy, and we're getting a little bit more blocked inside of us. So HydraFacial have custom blended lymphatic drainage right from the very beginning. So this is nothing new, and they were onto something even back in 2007. So what we do is we decompress and we kind of like massage you to open up the lymphatic system so that we can actually drain everything. And Dee, if you don't mind me saying or asking you, when you had this first step on your treatment and all of this lymph moved back into your cardiovascular, did we sit you up halfway and show you how your face looked like?
Yes, and it was almost as if I'd had a sort of mini lift, because I've always got a bit of problem here, and it really tightened it up. And also, what was fascinating to me was that your lovely Lydia showed me the sort of what came out of my skin, which was quite scary, really. But it was reassuring to know that it was really working and just getting. I mean, I know that it's a superficial thing from the point of view of doesn't go deep down, but it still does the trick, and it's very, very thorough. So it's the effects are amazing.
Thank you.
And I know you said that it can be for all ages and all skin types, but is there a downtime after you've had it done? Do you have to not wear makeup, or is your skin red for a few days?
Well, this is the beauty about the technology, Linda. You don't actually have any downtime. So as long as you're fit and well, your skin is in good to even moderate skin health, you will have absolutely no downtime with this. They've managed to custom blend the tips, so this is where the mechanical side comes into this. You've got these soft tips, they're They're abrasive, but very gentle on the skin. And you can see that through that you have an opening. So it spirals around the skin. We sweep up, to deep cleanse and exfoliate with the second step after the lymphatic drainage. And then you've got a jet washing of the skin with the glycolic acid. So it's almost like going through a car wash. But much more elegant and much more refined, obviously.
This is incredible. I am completely sold. But honestly, Sherina, Dee just told us all she was bursting with it. That was one thing. And let's face it, between us all, we've all had various things all over the world, treatments, etc. Dee was absolutely on fire from this. So even before you started talking, I was already like, well, this is something I'd like to do. One thing I'd like to ask you, if I may, is are there other little side treatments that can be added to the main facial treatment? Like pizza toppings, I mean, don't mean literally, but you know what I mean, like little extra things that we could put into the treatment.
Absolutely. So what you actually have, Hilary, is you have all 6 steps, and that is what I call the foundation, the fundamental, the core. And through that, you can custom blend it to what the patient needs. So I'm sure you can see here, there's some additional vials that we have that we push through after your lymphatic, your deep cleanse, your exfoliation. And I want to mention very quickly, through one of these tips, we also have an extraction phase. So for someone who's very oily, who's very congested, lots of blackheads, and we commonly get that around the T-zone. So you asked about, can we pizza top it? We actually then do some custom blend extraction of the blackheads, and we remove everything that needs to be extracted. And that's probably what you can then find in the healthy jug of gunky juice that we show to all patients after the treatment. So. And, back to your questions again on hyper-personalization, we, after the extraction, what do you want to do? I have this analogy actually, Linda, you probably quite like, clean the glass so the light can go in. So when you actually clean the surface of the skin, you get better penetration of everything that you're all using, even at home on your day-to-day practice. So you just get a high penetration, higher efficacy. So here you have something called Derma Builder. I don't know if you can see that. There we go, that's better. Derma Builder. So derma is dermis of the skin. Builder, you want to grow collagen, proteins, and peptides. So through this, we actually plug it into the device and we squish against areas like your nose to mouth lines, corners of the mouth, smile line areas, crow's feet area, but even just those kind of like barcode areas that we start developing. So I love the fact that, I'm not all about, I do a lot of facial injectables, and I'm often one with the younger generation. I'll say, hey, why don't you start off with great skin health with things like this, and you will actually age even better than my crowd, because you have access to things like this.
Yeah.
So this is one for all. So I feel the younger generation are onto a real winner if they all start.
And how often can you get them done? How often do you recommend you have them done?
So, it depends on the patient, Linda. So if somebody comes to me and they are noticing signs of aging, irrespective of age, and they've gone through a stressful episode, there's a lot of trauma in their life, psychology, anything, I will say, look, to get your skin, flip it back on track, let's work within the 6-week skin cycle. So from 27 onwards, our skin cycle changes from a 4-week cycle to a 6-week cycle. So I will say, let's get one in once a week for the first 6 weeks. Let's just flip the whole way that you're aging around. Let's just work with all 6 layers of that 6-week cycle, and you see a dramatic change. After that, we can go monthly, we can go 6 weekly, whatever actually suits your lifestyle. And we can also hyper-personalize it, again, Hilary, with things like brightening solutions. So this is called Brightenol. I'm not sure if it comes up. That's probably better. And this has got depigmenting agents within it, so we can target where somebody might be sat next to a window. We can target some darker spots. Where somebody's freckling, we can actually target those. So even before my laser treatments, and I carry out a lot of laser treatments here, I will say, let's prep your skin, let's optimize it, let's just get this depigmenting started before you even have your lasers. And then by the time you come and have your lasers, your skin is actually more refined and more prepared and more healthy and more hydrated.
But a lot of women will not look after themselves. They don't do that. They put themselves last. And I think what women have to do now, and it's really, really important, that if they start doing these facials now when they're younger, that they will age less, and then they won't have to do severe things when they get older. So in fact, it's like having a bank account, isn't it? This is a savings account for your face.
Debbie,
Good way of putting it.
Great way of putting it.
I'm gonna just like video what you just said and just share that with my patient right now, because that was absolutely brilliant.
Anyway, listen, thank you. You have been absolutely brilliant. And when can we come and have one? That's the next thing.
Anytime you wish. We're really excited. We've got 3 devices, so you can probably come together, some of you as well. You can try it for the skin on the face, you can try it for your scalp, you can try it for the back of your hands, your neck. I'm all about the neck and the deck.
My decolletage needs it. Do you do decolletage?
Everything, where the skin retreats, so chest neck decolletage.
That's it. I'm going to challenge you for my decolletage.
We're all there. Oh, thank you so much, Sherrie. It's so lovely to see you. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for the pleasure of being here. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.